Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, to hell with it, Happy Holidays. Just much easier that way. So, thanks for tuning in. I wanted to do something for Christmas. I actually had a plan to do another Christmas type video. I simply didn't have enough time to do it though. So I figured, what the hell, I'll just tell the story of my Christmas 1988 when I got one of my all-time favorite NES games, Zelda II: The Adventure of Link. So back in 1987, I got The Legend of Zelda, and the game was like nothing I had ever played. It blew me away. And once I figured out that the game was just a large adventure, a world to explore, it quickly became my favorite game of all time. And probably until Metroid. I got Metroid for Christmas 1987, so yeah, 30 years ago I got Metroid. And that had the same elements of Zelda where you could explore, but it was side-scrolling and in outer space. So I was like, oh man, this is now my new favorite game. So when The Legend of Zelda 2 was announced and it was going to be a side-scroller, I was like, oh shit, this is the best of both worlds. It's like Legend of Zelda and Metroid put into one. And I was not disappointed, that's for sure. So the game was released in December of 1988. Now, just like Nintendo today, they didn't make enough product to meet the demand, so people were ravenous for this game. They were like clawing each other for it, and it was very difficult to find a copy. So my dad and I, we ordered a copy through, I think, the Sears catalog, and it was going to be delivered directly to our home. So we were good there. But we were still nervous, we were still a little wary. And it just so happened that one day while we were out, we happened across a copy of Zelda II in the wild, and we snagged it up because we didn't want to take any chances. So when the second copy arrived in the mail, we were like, well, we don't need two copies of Zelda II, let's go ahead and exchange it for a different game. So we went ahead, took it to our local Lionel Play World, and told the woman at the video game counter that we had a game to exchange. She's like, okay, sure. So when we pulled it out of the bag and she saw that it was Zelda 2, she's like, what are you, nuts? She's like, put that away, don't let anyone see that. She was like worried that, you know, a mob would come rushing over to get the game. That's how high in demand it was. So we ended up exchanging it for Hudson's Adventure Island, which I love. I love that game. It's fun. So those were the two games that I got for Christmas. Now, later, my aunt and uncle, and my cousin Tess came to visit us for Christmas, and my uncle was also into video games, so he also had a game wrapped up and ready for Christmas, as did my cousin. He ended up getting Blaster Master, and my cousin, who was like 5, I think, and a girl, got Mickey Mousecapade, which, you know, was perfect. Perfect type of game for her. But I was all about the Zelda 2. And I was not disappointed. The game was freaking awesome. It was like the screenshots that I saw in the magazines came to life. And needless to say, my uncle, my dad, and I were hooked. I pretty much remember the whole Christmas break, the whole Christmas vacation from school, was the three of us standing in the basement playing that game. And me, actually, I watched more of it because they kind of hogged it. My dad and my uncle kind of hogged the game. But it was still cool. I got to see and watch everything, and boy, was the game tough. But it was like I had guessed. It was like a combination of Metroid and the original Zelda, and I loved it. So, I mean, we played the hell out of that game. And, you know, we didn't have the internet, there were no tips for the game was brand new, so it was old school. We had to figure everything out, we had to solve the puzzles, get through the mazes, and that's what games like that back in the day were all about. It was so much fun, and it wasn't long before Zelda 2 became my all-time favorite game at that time. And I probably still favorite over the original Zelda. I play the original Zelda a lot more because it's just an easier game to play, and it's a game that I can play if I've had, like, you know, 1 or 10 too many. So I mean, I like The Legend of Zelda. I love The Legend of Zelda, but Zelda 2 has a special place in my heart. It always will. I mean, the boss fights were awesome. I loved all the little hidden secrets, you know, finding little fairies hidden, finding Bagoo hidden in the woods, the cryptic clues that the villagers would give you. And that was another thing. That was the first game I'd ever played where you could speak with villagers in a village. That was like completely new. It was awesome. And I mean, everything about The Legend of Zelda 2 is just incredible. So I have a lot of nostalgia for it, but it's also a very cool game. It's very good. And I don't know, like, it gets a lot of hate. And I mean, I get it. It's different. It was the, you know, bastard child out of the series. But god damn it, man, it's a really good game. It's fun. And it's very, very challenging. Although it can be cheap at times too. Like when you get hit by an enemy, you get bumped back, just like Castlevania. Or what I really hate is you can be in midair, get bumped, and then all of a sudden the game becomes Ice Climber and you slide right into a pit or right into the lava. And that's cheap. And yeah, when I was capturing footage for this video, I had ran into that a few times and it was really annoying. But damn it, man, this game was really good, and it took me a long time to beat it because it was so friggin' hard. The trek to the final temple is just such a bitch. My god, like, I don't know how long it took me just to get to the final temple because that part is so difficult. I don't know, what an amazing experience. Back in 1988, this type of game just blew me away. It was awesome, and it just always reminds me of Christmas, always reminds me of that time. I even remember the wrapping paper it was wrapped in. It was in like a peppermint candy style wrapping paper. Like, I would just stare at that present every day, just imagining what the game was like. And that was the cool thing about playing games back in the day. You couldn't watch trailers on YouTube. There weren't tons and tons of magazines. I mean, there were some magazines, but they would only have like a few pictures and still shots. So anyway, I don't know. I really liked The Legend of Zelda 2. It made that Christmas extremely memorable for me. And I just love the game to this day. I have a lot of nostalgia for it. But every time I pop it in and I start playing it, I'm just like, damn, this is a good game. And I can't wait to get back to it whenever I play it. It has a lot of replayability for me, and it's just a fantastic game and one of the best Christmas presents I had ever received. So anyway, that's my tale of Christmas in 1988. Yeah, Blaster Master was cool too. And so was Adventure Island, but honestly, we pretty much ignored those in favor of Zelda 2. So, I don't know, what are some of your cool Christmas memories? What are some cool games that you got? I'm really curious to know, so go ahead and let me know in the comments below. But thanks a lot for sticking with me with this Christmas-related video. I will catch you all later. Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas! Ho, ho, ho.